Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. Welcome to today's episode of How You're Getting Effed. I'm your host, Louis Rossman. So today we're going to be going over Tesla and the Cybertruck, as if there weren't already enough issues with this piece of shit unrendered polygon that people are calling a car and paying $70,000 to $100,000+ for. This is something that really I've brought up on the channel many times when it comes to warranty. There's this thing called the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, and in the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, the TLDR of this piece of legislation that came out in the 1970s, back when we had actual consumer protection in the United States of America, is that the manufacturer cannot void your warranty simply because you have decided to repair your own device. They need to show how you destroyed the product. So for instance, let's say that I replaced the battery on my MacBook. If I replaced the battery on my MacBook, Apple cannot simply void my warranty because there is a warranty void if removed sticker there. However, if when replacing the battery on my MacBook, instead of taking the screw out of the battery, I decide that I'm going to stab the motherboard 8 times before I do that, and they can clearly show, hey, look, see how there's pentalobe scraped holes in your motherboard going all the way through it? We're not covering you. The manufacturer has to demonstrate how it is that you destroyed the product in order to take away your warranty. And this is something that we used to care about. This is something that used to be enforced. As I have gone over in many videos, the FTC has issued slaps on the wrist to a number of large companies that have disobeyed this particular warranty act. Whether we're talking about Harley-Davidson or Weber Grills, there is no type of company in the United States that is ever going to actually be penalized as a result of taking part in this behavior. This is the website for the Cybertruck. And when you take a look at this website, you'll see that there are particular features that are advertised about this car. You'll see that it has a high towing capacity, the 0 to 60 time, the range, no paint, no chips, and eventually you will scroll down to a feature that allows you to use this to power something. So it says power your site, operate your tools, or charge any EV with an integrated 120 volt and 220 volt bed and cabin outlet. During a grid outage, provide up to 11.5 kilowatts of power directly to your home to help keep the lights on. So this seems like an interesting feature because these cars tend to have anywhere from 60 to 110 kilowatt hour batteries and sometimes even more in some of the crazy high-end models. So you would expect that being able to provide 11.5 kilowatts should be very easy for this thing to do, because this is a vehicle that can very easily put 40,000, 80,000, 200,000 watts into its motors in order to achieve a 0 to 60 time of sub 3 seconds. However, when you take a look at the vehicle warranty over here on Tesla's website, if you simply click on the warranty for the Cybertruck, here it tells you all the exclusions and limitations that will void your warranty. So over here we have things like damaging the battery, exposing the battery to direct flame, flooding the battery. These are very obviously understandable. However, take a look at this one. Using the vehicle as a permanent, stationary, or long-term power source or backup. Now let's think about that a little bit. This battery is able to easily put out 40,000 to 200,000 watts. There is no limitation on this warranty for you to be able to use that battery up until you're getting over 100-something thousand miles. So as you can see over here, they're covering the battery for 8 years or 150,000 miles. So they have to imagine that this battery is something that's gonna last for some period of time, or else they would not be offering that particular warranty. So they're willing to have you use this battery at 40,000 to 200,000 watts every single day for 8 years. But if you use it for 11,000 watts, even for a couple of hours, apparently that voids your warranty. And when you think about the vagueness of the term that they have here, using it as a permanent, that's one thing, but stationary power source. Further, a long-term power source. What constitutes long-term? Is long-term a few hours? Is long-term 30 minutes? Is long-term enough time for me to charge a cell phone? Is long-term as long as a hurricane in Texas? Is long-term the 1 to 3 months that most of my relationships last as a result of me being insane? Like, what is long-term? But more importantly, what do you mean by stationary? Are you talking about the fact that if I've parked my vehicle and I'm using it to charge drills via my car at a work site, that's going to void my warranty? Because under this particular set of warranty terms and conditions, you could literally void somebody's warranty for using this car to charge up my camera if you plug it into it. This may sound ridiculous, but the fact that this is in there with no anything that really defines what it is long-term means, what it is stationary means that they can do that. They can do that. And do you think anything's going to happen? Or do you think that they're just maybe going to, best case scenario, get a smack on the wrist from the FTC, have to release a press release, and get fined zero of the $30,000+ an instance that the FTC could actually fine them if they actually had a set of balls? You let me know in the comments down below. If you take a look at the FTC's own press release, which I will link below, enforcement actions. They will be prohibited from further violations. The part that I find most interesting, if the companies violate these terms, the FTC will be able to seek penalties of up to $46,517 per violation in federal court. To be clear, it says, will be able to, which is different than will do. It says right over here that if they violate these terms, they have already fucking violated these terms. Why don't you fine them? I have been fined more money by New York City for disobeying laws that they can't even fucking pronounce, much less explain to me, with fines of $250. Yet when we're talking about companies with market caps of hundreds of millions of dollars, which is a far stretch of what the market cap is of Rossman Repair Group, billions of dollars, they get fined nothing. Nothing. And you wonder why they continue to do it. Tesla is one of the most valuable companies in the United States of America. At one point, they were damn near the top of the S&P 500, and they are allowed to flagrantly disobey the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, give a middle finger to the FTC. And you know why they do that? Because it's very obvious they can get away with it. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. And above all, when you see large influencers promoting these products, talking about how amazing they are before they're even necessarily released for the general public to purchase them en masse, you should think about that. Do they have your best interests in mind, or the relationships they have with executives from the manufacturer? And that's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now. This here is an LG G3 OLED television that also has cat scratchers on the side. That's my way of trying to bribe my cat into not scratching my speaker. We'll see if that works. In all seriousness, this is in the menu of this television. If you go in this at any one of the default profiles and you go to privacy and terms, what you'll notice with the smart television is there's an option called do not sell my personal information. And because we live in a dystopian world, this option is not by default checked. It should be the default when you pay over $3,000 for a television that you do not sell my personal information. But even when you pay that much for a television, the default is that they will sell your personal data, which is why you should never connect a television to the internet, particularly when these televisions have microphones built into them that allow them to listen to what it is you say in your living room. There are many other settings hidden in here that talk about being able to see what it is you're watching or what you're doing, to be able to make recommendations to you and personalize advertisements to you if you browse around the television. And 100% of those options is the consumer unfriendly option, and the advertiser grabs your data, sells it, and uses it however they please option.